So imagine signing a contract, right, to become a global pop star. But then you realize the studio camera crew isn't there to document your rise. They're actually there to cast you as the villain.
Oh, wow. That is the terrifying thought.
Right. Well, welcome to this deep dive. Today we are cutting through all the noise surrounding the global girl group KATSEYE. Our mission is to look at the massive fallout from their recent docuseries and, really examine how reality TV shapes public narratives and why media literacy actually matters for you as a consumer.
Yeah, and we are going to look objectively at official Billboard interviews right alongside raw fan reactions from places like Koreaboo. Because when you put those two side by side, you see two completely different versions of reality.
Exactly. Now, the huge flashpoint here is the Netflix series Pop Star Academy, KATSEYE, specifically how they portrayed one member, Manon. Fans immediately accused the studio of, evil editing.
Right, the classic evil edit.
But wait, if the cameras actually caught her skipping practice and, staying home while the others were grinding, isn't the documentary just telling the truth? I mean, how is that evil?
Well, it's all about context, or really the total omission of it. The mechanism of evil editing isn't usually just fabricating events out of thin air. It is compressing timelines and intentionally hiding the why.
Hiding the why. Got it.
Yeah. Manon entered this program with literally zero K-pop or dance background. By stripping away that crucial context, the producers basically weaponized a completely normal learning curve just to fit a classic underdog versus the establishment trope.
Wow, so it feels like starting a high-stakes corporate job, but your boss deliberately hides the onboarding manual.
Yes, that's exactly it.
You show up and suddenly everyone is furious you aren't using the right cover sheets. So is it actually fair for a studio to penalize someone on camera for violating the unwritten rules of trainee life, before they've even learned them?
That analogy hits the nail on the head, honestly. Because the producers aren't just observing that corporate office, they're the ones hiding the manual.
Mm.
They desperately needed a character arc.
They need the drama to sell the show.
Exactly. And during the group's one-year YouTube reunion, Manon actually pushed back on this directly. She admitted she didn't grasp the strict discipline initially, but she called the editing so dramatic for no reason.
Oh, she said that.
Yeah, she asserted that she eventually fully locked in to earn her spot, which the edit just completely glossed over so they could maintain the on-screen tension.
So the documentary essentially froze her in that phase of struggling. And that clash between the crafted narrative and reality, it is totally bleeding into their current kind of confusing marketing rollout. They have a new documentary film coming out called Wild Hearts.
The trailer just dropped, and there is a massive disconnect there. Manon has been on an unexplained, indefinite hiatus from the group since February.
Right. Yet she is heavily featured in this new trailer. Fans are absolutely furious. If you look at Koreaboo, the consensus is that the labels, HYBE and Geffen, are just using her face for clicks.
Yeah, because they know she guarantees an audience. It really puts the fans in a strange position. On one hand, the active members are moving forward. I mean, they just hit the Hot 100 with their song Animal.
A huge milestone for them.
Definitely. And in Billboard, you have members like Lara defending Manon's inclusion, calling her a beautiful part of their journey. Meanwhile, Danielle is hyping up the new film for showing their raw day-to-day grind.
So how should we read this? Are the fans right to feel manipulated by a trailer capitalizing on a hiatus member? Or is the studio simply providing, an accurate historical record of that era?
It is a highly calculated overlap of both.
Hmm.
I mean, a music documentary is inherently a promotional tool with a massive financial incentive. The studio knows featuring a popular member drives ticket sales.
Right, it's a business at the end of the day.
Exactly. But at the same time, you really cannot accurately document the group's history without her. The friction comes from the audience demanding complete transparency, while the studio is legally and financially bound to maximize engagement.
Which makes this the ultimate media literacy test for you as a consumer. Whenever you consume reality content or documentaries, the lens is just never passive. It is actively curating the timeline to trigger a reaction.
The story on screen is just one highly edited version of the truth.
Exactly. And the conflict we are seeing with KATSEYE is exactly what happens when the subjects and the audience just refuse to accept that curated version anymore.
It really is a fascinating shift in fan culture.
It totally is. Which leaves you with this final provocative thought for today. If modern audiences are now so hyper-aware of evil editing and manufactured storylines, will entertainment studios eventually have to abandon the drama-heavy reality TV formula entirely just to maintain their credibility? Will they give us the real footage, or will manufactured drama always win?